As a first-time home buyer, I get asked all the time, how do I get started? How do I buy a house? How do I buy a house for only $1,000 down? You know what? It's easier than you think. A lot of times, buyers will come to me and they already have these crazy thoughts like it's going to be this big, overwhelming process. I got to do this, I got to do that. But what it ends up turning out to be really is that they just don't have all the information. I've been in the business almost 30 years now. I've worked with a ton of different partners, both in real estate and in finance, in housing development, nonprofits. Through that, I'm able to leverage all those different people for your benefit. So here's the process. You reach out, you contact me at realsimplehousing.com, send us a contact page so we can get back to you. We'll have our people get in touch to be able to start the process. You can email me at doug.priest@realsimplere.com, and I'd be happy to get you started in the process. First thing you're going to do is contact me. Once you reach out to me, then we'll find a time to connect. We'll outline the process that I'm going to talk about here right now, specific to you. So the first thing I'm going to do is reach out to a lender that I think is best for you. Now, the good news for you is that because I've been in the industry almost 30 years, I vetted a number of these different lenders. Not every lender is set up and specific for each person, right? Sometimes it's personality types, it's skill sets, a focus. Hey, I want to look and I'm buying out in Aurora. Well, not every lender understands all the programs and the community for Aurora. So let's make sure we get the right lender for you. Let's get your credit score up. Let's get your debt service down to what it truly is. And then we'll go through and we'll take a peek. Like sometimes, I know often my buyers, they're working overtime. You know, let's get that overtime income qualified. Maybe you got a second job. A lot of us working 2 jobs just to kind of make ends meet. So let's make sure that we get that going for you, right? We want to make sure we qualify all your income, make sure that your credit is correct, and that you have the score that reflects who you are. Now that you're pre-qualified with your lender, now we can get started in the home search. This is the funnest part of the whole time. We identify what's the super important things for you, identify what city, where we gonna live, what's convenient. It's close by. I don't mind driving a little bit. So we'll go through and we'll spend that time one-on-one to figure out exactly what's important to you so we get you the house that you really want. Oftentimes, it's less than 30 days. You can almost, and we'll talk about this, you can almost put in your notice to your landlord, which is probably going to be one of the funnest days you ever have, is telling him, hey, listen, I've graduated out of being a tenant and now I'm a homeowner. So when you do that, that'll be a fun time. You're going to really enjoy that. So then we're going to go through. So it's usually about a 30-day process. So we'll start looking for homes. We'll go out and see in homes. We'll write a contract. Once we find that home, you'll know it. You'll walk in the door and you're going to say, hey, Doug, this is it. This is the one. Let's write the offer. So we're going to go through, we'll write the offer. Once the offer is accepted, and we expect it to be accepted because we're going to be communicating with the listing agent. As a company, that's what we do. We do a ton and focus on communication. Communication with you, communication with the listing agent, and communication with all the other parties that are involved. So then once we go through the home inspection process, we figure out what we got. We got to bring in a roofing contractor, right? Let's make sure we don't have hail damage. I can't see the roof from the bottom, and you can't either. So let's get somebody knowledgeable up there to inspect that. Well, I just had one deal. The roof was in great shape. Didn't expect it to be in great shape. It was in great shape. He wrote a 5-year roof certification at no cost. Said as long as there's no hail, this roof will be good for 5 years. You know how good that made the home buyer feel? That was one of the things that was a big expense that they were concerned about, no longer on the table. So then once we go through the inspection process, we feel like this is the house for us, then we sign off or we request repairs. Say Chuck went through and he found a little leaky faucet and there's a little paint scratch over here. We request the home seller to make those repairs on your behalf prior to closing. So we put in that list of items. Then at that point, we order in the appraisal. The appraiser comes in, appraises the house. So once we get through the appraisal comes back, everything's good. So once we finish the appraisal process, your lender's going to send us a clear to close, it's called, meaning that everything is all in order. All your documents have been confirmed to be correct. All your bank statements, your tax returns, your pay stubs, your assets, as far as your cash in the bank, they've all been verified. Once we get all that verified, then it's clear to close. Then we've got 3 days, and then we're set. We're closing. When it's finally the day to sign, you'll go into the title company, you'll sign. Here in Colorado, once the money is funded and distributed to the seller, right? So your lender sends in the money, they send it off to the seller. Once all the funds are there and everything's split, then it's considered closed. You can be moving in. Literally, you can sign at noon, and then by 3 o'clock, you're moving in, right? Keys are yours, moving trucks are moving in, and you're off to the races. Hit the link in the description below. Complete all the information in that description. Send it off. It comes straight to me. I'm going to be reaching out to you. We'll schedule a time, and then we handle the rest. Real Simple Housing and its 30 years of experience is here for you.